Is a Angel Reese OnlyFans coming up next?
Reese's latest move has left fans and critics shocked. Angel Reese has joined OnlyFans, a platform known more for its adult content than its basketball highlights. It's a decision that's raised eyebrows across the sports world and beyond. Remember when Reese was the talk of the town after that national championship game? She was on top of the world, with everyone singing her praises. Fast forward to today, and it's like we're watching a whole different movie. Angel Reese exploded onto the basketball scene, wowing fans with her talent and charisma, but just as quickly, she's found herself at the heart of a controversy, shaking up the entire world of women's basketball.
Fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to.
But here's where things get interesting. Instead of owning her decision, Reese is pointing fingers. And guess who's in her crosshairs? None other than Caitlin Clark, the rising star of women's basketball. Reese is claiming it's all about race, saying Clark stole her spotlight. It's like watching a high school drama play out on a national stage. The contrast between Reese and Clark couldn't be more stark. While Clark's been busy breaking records and winning Rookie of the Year, Reese has been making headlines for everything but her game. It's like they're playing two different sports. Clark's playing basketball, while Reese seems to be playing a game of her own making.
Stupid, it's dishonest, she's just clout chasing.
Reese's behavior on and off the court has been raising eyebrows for a while now. From controversial social media posts to on-court antics, she's been creating drama left and right. Fans who once cheered her on are now shaking their heads, wondering what happened to the promising young athlete they once admired. The situation hit a new low when Reese appeared on a sports podcast, dressed in a way that had people talking more about her outfit than her basketball skills. It's like she's forgotten she's an athlete first and a celebrity second.
Social media again, doing things that, well, I mean, when you consider the things that she has talked about that she has been subjected to, it makes you kind of throw up your hands and go, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing this kind of thing if you are constantly under fire, supposedly for being sexualized, as you want to call it?
But let's not forget the bigger picture here. Reese's actions aren't just affecting her, they're sending shockwaves through the entire world of women's basketball. Some worry that all this drama could undo years of progress in the sport. It's not just about two players anymore, it's about the image of women's basketball as a whole. Reese's decision to join OnlyFans has sparked a heated debate. Some see it as a bold move for female empowerment, while others view it as a step backward for women's sports. It's a conversation that's dividing fans, players, and coaches alike.
Angel Reese is the one that is going to hurt people's pocketbook.
The impact of Reese's choices is already being felt. TV ratings for women's basketball games have taken a hit, and some sponsors are getting nervous. Young players who once looked up to Reese are now left wondering if this is what it takes to make it in the sport.
Could you imagine if Caitlin Clark did this while her team's on a 7-game losing streak? Just think about that.
Other WNBA stars aren't happy either. They feel like they've been working hard to prove that women's basketball is about skill and not just looks. Reese's actions, they fear, are undermining all that hard work. But here's the kicker. Through all of this, Reese doesn't seem to be backing down. She's doubling down on her decisions, claiming it's all about female empowerment and making money. But is it really empowering to shift focus away from your athletic talents? A lot of people don't think so. The whole situation has sparked a larger conversation about the responsibilities of athletes in the age of social media. Where do we draw the line between personal expression and professional obligation? It's a question that doesn't have any easy answers. As this drama continues to unfold, one thing's for sure, the world of women's basketball will never be the same. Reese's journey from rising star to controversial figure has shaken up the sport in ways no one could have predicted. So what's next for Angel Reese? Will she realize what she's giving up and make a comeback on the court? Or is this just the beginning of a whole new career path? Only time will tell, but one thing's certain, her choices have changed the game, and not everyone thinks it's for the better.
Contract this? I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years, it's almost 30 million bucks, something like that.
In the world of sports endorsements, things just got wild. Nike just dropped a bombshell with a new contract for Caitlin Clark, aiming to lock her in as their star while Adidas fights to take her away. The competition for her just hit a whole new level. Let's break it down. Before Clark even stepped foot on a WNBA court, Nike had her locked down with a deal that made everyone's jaws drop. We're talking serious cash and the promise of her very own shoe line.
Leftists are idiots. Idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlin Clark.
But then, Nike pushed back the release date for Clark's signature shoe not once, but twice. It went from coming soon to maybe someday faster than you can say airball. And while Nike was busy shuffling papers and twiddling their thumbs, Clark was out there setting the basketball world on fire. Adidas quietly stepped in while Nike wasn't paying attention and made their move, and they didn't play around. The offer was huge, enough to surprise even the pros, but it wasn't just about the money. Adidas was offering Clark something athletes hardly ever get.
However, I will say that Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million for 8 years as opposed to Wemby's $100.
Imagine being a rookie and suddenly having the power to shape your own brand, design your own campaigns, and connect with your fans on your own terms. It's like being handed the keys to the kingdom. Adidas wasn't just offering a contract, they were offering a partnership. Meanwhile, back at Nike HQ, alarms were going off. They suddenly realized they were about to lose the biggest thing in women's basketball since, well, ever. Clark wasn't just any player. She was the face of the WNBA, a record breaker, a game changer, and Nike had treated her like an afterthought.
WNBA season, it was announced that Caitlin Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million with a signature sneaker included. Now, at the time, a lot of us were...
So Nike did what any panicking corporate giant would do. They threw everything at the wall to see what would stick. Bigger bonuses? Check. Faster production timelines? You got it. A marketing blitz that would make Super Bowl ads look like local car dealership commercials? Absolutely.
He struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world? And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. And we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature.
But here's the kicker. It might all be too little, too late. Clark's fans had been watching and they weren't happy. They saw how Nike sidelined their idol, pushing other players to the forefront while Clark was left waiting in the wings. And in the age of social media, fan loyalty can make or break a brand. Now, this whole mess isn't just playing out in boardrooms and on basketball courts. Oh no, it's headed for the courtroom. Nike's not just trying to win back Clark, they're gearing up to sue Adidas. They're claiming Adidas played dirty, trying to lure Clark away despite her existing contract. It's like watching two heavyweight boxers squaring up, with Clark caught in the middle of the ring. On one side, you've got Nike, the reigning champ, desperate to hold on to their title. On the other, Adidas, the scrappy challenger willing to bend the rules for a shot at the crown.
So in conversations with people in the know, it indeed has something to do with the WNBA MVP and Nike athlete, A'ja Wilson. But beyond Wilson, it's about the culture at the company that's more concerned with quelling noise rather than making it, as Nike once used to.
And let's not forget what's really at stake here. This isn't just about shoes or contracts. It's about the future of women's basketball. Clark has single-handedly revitalized the WNBA, bringing in viewers by the millions and turning regular season games into must-see events. She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon.
This will be a whole new offering and probably tap into a market that Nike and other sports apparel companies really haven't before.
You know what the contract is?
I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years. It's almost 30 million bucks, something like that.
The brutal realization finally hit Nike, and they showed a middle finger to Adidas with the new Caitlin Clark contract.
But the biggest shocker here is that Nike's not only
The real irony, while Nike and Adidas battle it out, they're both missing the bigger picture. Clark deserves far more than what either is offering. She's outshining veteran players, breaking records, and pulling in crowds that rival NBA teams. Yet, despite all the hype, her deal is still a fraction of what top male athletes earn. It shows the ongoing gap in sports. Clark has changed the game, but she's being treated like a bargaining piece instead of the MVP she truly is. No wonder Adidas's offer was so appealing. They seem to understand her real worth, both on and off the court. As this drama unfolds, it's raising some big questions about the sports industry as a whole. How do we value athletes, especially women, in a world where social media influence can be just as important as on-court performance? Are the old ways of doing business still relevant in a rapidly changing landscape? One thing's for sure, whatever happens next, it's going to shake up the industry. If Clark ends up with Adidas, it could signal a shift in power dynamics, showing that even giants like Nike aren't invincible. If she stays with Nike, it might force the company to rethink how they treat their athletes, especially the rising stars. And let's not forget the fans in all this. They're the ones who've been riding with Clark from day one, filling arenas and blowing up social media with every game. They're watching this corporate tug-of-war with a mix of fascination and frustration. After all, they just want to see their idol get the respect and recognition she deserves. As we wait to see how this all shakes out, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark has changed the game, both on and off the court. She's shown that women's basketball can pull in the big crowds and the big bucks. She's proven that a rookie can have the kind of star power that makes corporate giants sweat. Whatever happens next, whether Clark ends up with Nike or Adidas or decides to start her own shoe company, hey, stranger things have happened, one thing's for certain: the sports world will never be the same. Clark has set a new standard, not just for women's basketball, but for how athletes should be valued and treated. So here we are, watching two giants of the sports world duke it out over one incredible athlete. On one side, we've got Nike, the established king trying to hold on to their crown. On the other, Adidas, the challenger ready to risk it all for a shot at the top. And in the middle of it all, Caitlin Clark is the rookie who's shaking up not just the WNBA, but the entire sports industry. Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure: the game will never be the same.
Everything else, y'all owe us a debt. And damn it, if we are participating in a sport that loses money for 27 straight years, damn it, you better fly as commercial. You better fly as private.
The WNBA's 2024 season was about to bankruptcy as Clark and Reese left the WNBA. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese played in the league. Everyone thought we'd see the sport reach new heights. And in many ways, it did. But here's the kicker. The New York Post just dropped a bombshell, claiming the league's about to take a $40 million hit this season. Talk about a plot twist. Let's break it down. Since these two superstars hit the court, we've seen some crazy good results. Sold-out crowds? Check. Merchandise flying off the shelves? You bet. TV ratings through the roof? Absolutely. ESPN's viewership shot up by a whopping 170%. And get this, there were over 100 more sold-out games compared to last year. That's not just good, that's insane. The WNBA's 2024 season was a roller coaster, with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese taking center stage. These two rookies shook things up, but the league's still in a financial pickle. Let's break it down.
Since the Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for three, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
Well, she's definitely taken that golden advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
I saw that online. Look, she plays hard. I like the way she plays. I love her. I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing.
Clark and Reese faced off 4 times when the Indiana Fever met the Chicago Sky. Clark's team came out on top, winning 3 out of 4 games. Clark played all 40 games this season, while Reese managed 34 before a wrist injury sidelined her. Looking at the numbers, Clark's got the edge in most areas. She averaged 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 8.4 assists per game. Reese, known for her rebounding skills, averaged 13.6 points and a whopping 13.1 rebounds per game. Clark shot better too, with a 41.7% field goal percentage and a 34.4% three-point percentage. Reese shot 39.1% from the field but struggled from behind the arc, hitting only 18.8% of her threes. For the whole season, Clark racked up 769 points, 337 assists, and 53 steals. Reese totaled 462 points and led the league in rebounds with 446. She even set a record for most rebounds in a single season before an injury cut her run short.
They get a gift sent to them called Caitlin Clark. She is sprinkling magic all around the WNBA, making a sport that no one likes likable and watchable. And instead of showing any gratitude towards Caitlin Clark, they have set out to destroy Caitlin Clark. This is what women do.
So what's the deal? Why is the league still losing cash? Well, they were bracing for a $52 million loss when the season kicked off. But let's be real, that's still a lot of money to lose.
They have so little understanding of who actually built the league that they're playing in, who's carried the weight of the league that they're playing in, who has financed their charity league. They have no gratitude towards those people.
The WNBA's problem, it's just not raking in enough dough to turn a profit. They're pinning their hopes on a $2.2 billion media rights deal that's set to kick in during the 2026 season. But even with that, the numbers aren't adding up.
Reflecting back on Caitlin Clark's rookie season, I have honestly never seen a company fumble the bag so hard like the WNBA fumbled Caitlin Clark.
League exec spilled the tea to the New York Post, saying, WNBA owes the NBA so much we won't see any windfall for years. Now, with the Indiana Fever, Clark's team, out of the playoffs, and Chicago Sky dealing with Reese's injury, the league's immediate future isn't looking too rosy. It's like the basketball gods decided to throw a wrench in the works, just when things were getting good. But let's talk about Angel Reese for a second. She recently opened up about her WNBA salary, and it's not pretty. It doesn't cover my bills, she said. When one of your biggest stars is saying they can't make ends meet, you've got a problem. The WNBA is banking on more players like Clark and Reese to help them break free from the NBA's shadow. It's a tall order, but crazier things have happened in sports. So, what's the takeaway here? The WNBA's in a weird spot. On one hand, they've got these incredible players bringing in fans and making the game more exciting than ever. On the other, they're still hemorrhaging money like there's no tomorrow. It's like they're stuck in this bizarre limbo, too successful to ignore, but not quite successful enough to stand on their own 2 feet. The big question is, can they keep this momentum going? Can they find a way to turn all this buzz into cold, hard cash? Or are they going to be stuck playing second fiddle to the NBA forever? One thing's for sure, the WNBA's got some serious thinking to do. They've got the talent and they've got the fans, now they just need to figure out how to make the dollars make sense. In the meantime, Clark is about to travel for the Europe League, and who knows, maybe her star power will be enough to push the WNBA over the edge and into profitability. But for now, the league's future is as unpredictable as a basketball bouncing on the rim. Will it fall in or bounce out? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, with players like Clark and Reese on the court, it's going to be one hell of a game to watch.
With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if they'll even return.
Caitlin Clark's decision to join the EuroLeague has sent shockwaves through the basketball world. The WNBA's biggest star is packing her bags for Europe, and the WNBA could be in trouble. Clark, who brought a lot of attention with her amazing rookie season and exciting rivalries, is now juggling between Europe and the WNBA. With her focus divided, the league faces a serious challenge to keep fans engaged.
They get a gift sent to them called Caitlin Clark. She is sprinkling magic all around the WNBA, making a sport that no one likes likable and watchable. And instead of showing any gratitude towards Caitlin Clark, they have set out to destroy Caitlin Clark.
Let's break it down. The EuroLeague Women is the top women's basketball competition in Europe, but it needs to get the hype it deserves. Running from October to April, it's perfect for Clark to dominate year-round.
And from the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. Now, Gabby Williams is a player who came on my radar during the Olympics. She played for Team France, and this past season she played for the Seattle Storm.
Clark's not just playing more games, she's expanding her brand and taking on international competition. It's a smart move. While the WNBA runs shorter seasons with mostly American talent, the EuroLeague pulls in players from around the world. It's basketball at its finest, with teams from all over Europe battling it out. The WNBA might be worried right now. Clark, who drew major attention with her incredible rookie season, is now splitting time between Europe and the WNBA, creating a big challenge for the league. Clark's part-time role means less screen time, less hype, and fewer big moments. She was supposed to be the future face of the WNBA, so losing her, even part-time, is a huge blow.
Feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So the money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas.
Clark is outsmarting everyone by playing in both top leagues, boosting her global profile. While others stick to one, she's seizing every opportunity without missing a step. On the commercial side, Clark's move to Europe opens up a whole new market and fan base. European basketball fans are passionate, and now they'll see her skills up close. Her worldwide popularity is about to take off. The WNBA banked heavily on Clark, and now their marketing efforts have taken a big hit. She was their plan to push the league into its next growth phase, the face of the future and a social media star. But with Clark heading to Europe part-time, they're left with a huge gap to fill. Here's the proof. Since Clark arrived in the WNBA, viewership for Indiana Fever games has skyrocketed. Her rivalry with Angel Reese? People live for that drama. Her deep threes? Viral gold. The WNBA has been riding the Clark wave. But with her balancing time between leagues, those jaw-dropping moments will be fewer and far between.
Look at his rookie salary, which was around $55 million for 4 years, and then you look at Caitlin Clark's $300 and I think it was $38,000 salary that she signed for 4 years. That is about the same amount more. It's around 162 times more that Victor made than Caitlin. So if
Clark's playing the long game, not just chasing short-term wins. She's expanding her brand, elevating her game, and building a legacy on a global scale. This isn't just about seeking a new challenge. It's a strategic move that's set to reshape the future of women's basketball. Now let's talk about why the EuroLeague might be better than the WNBA. The WNBA runs from May to early September, a short season, but the EuroLeague offers 6 months of intense basketball, giving Clark more time to showcase her skills and get extra exposure. And the competition? The WNBA's full of American ballers, no doubt. But EuroLeague women? That's a whole global affair. One night, you're squaring up against a team from Russia that's all about brute strength. The next, it's a slick, fast-paced squad from Turkey. It's like a world tour of basketball styles.
Games, they always sold out. Unbelievable. So Atlanta would normally have 3,000, 4,000 people. Now they have 17,000 people, and they sold 1,000 standing room only tickets. So when we walked into the arena, people were on that third balcony looking down at the tops of our players' heads to watch.
Sure, the WNBA's got the bright lights and social media buzz, but EuroLeague women, it's a different beast. They're not about the flash, they're about the fundamentals. It's basketball purist paradise. It's less about who can sink the most threes from 30 feet out, and more about team play, precision, and executing strategies to perfection. Let's not overlook the history and prestige. The EuroLeague has been around since 1958, showcasing the best women's basketball talent for over 60 years. When Clark steps onto that court, she's not just playing another game, she's becoming part of basketball history. When it comes to money, EuroLeague's top players earn between $60,000 and $500,000 per season, and that's just the base range. Big stars like Diana Taurasi even made $1.5 million playing in Russia. Compare that to the WNBA's 2024 max salary of $241,984. EuroLeague doesn't just stop at salary. Many European clubs cover taxes, housing, transportation, and meals. So when your rent, car, and even dinner are handled, that salary stretches way further than it would in the States.
Biggest team in Europe, but and I didn't, I knew it, but didn't know how big they were. And we travel like superstars. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream. Traveling around Europe, playing basketball.
Like we went to Paris played in Paris for the EuroLeague championship.
Here's the twist. Clark isn't shutting the door on the WNBA. She's still keeping the option open for a return, which says a lot about her character, not just as a player, but as a person. She could have walked away and focused solely on Europe, but that's just not who she is. Instead, she's giving the WNBA another shot, almost daring the league to step up its game. It's like she's saying, I'm still here, but you need to improve. After everything, the fact that she's still open to returning is an opportunity the WNBA can't afford to mess up. For her fans, it's a mixed bag of emotions. On one hand, we're excited that we might still get to see her play a few WNBA games. On the other, it's bittersweet knowing she's spending more time overseas where not all